Yours truly, the Cyber DJ, the CK at atlwebradio.com. And we are about to start something brand spanking new just for you. Right here tonight, we have the very first edition of Credit Gorilla with my main man, Thomas, the Credit Gorilla Brown, the second in the building. Thomas, what's going on with you tonight, brother? How you doing tonight, man?
Hey, man, I'm humble as a rumble in the jungle, man. I'm good. Flicking my sleeves, pounding my chest, and getting my foot right, man. It's time to get in here and go.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How you doing tonight?
Oh, man, I'm blessed by the best, man, and I'm totally grateful to be here live with you, man, to pass on some knowledge, man, some opportunity for our people, man. So
yes, sir.
Oh, man, it's been a heck of a day for me, man. It's been a marvelous Monday, I'll say. Thanking God for every second of it, man. And I just want to, I truly want to, right here live, thank you for everything that you got on the table for me here, man, tonight, that you got on the table for the listeners out there tonight, man. Just before we get started here, man, I want to give a big shout out to all the people that's tuning in to us right now, man. We got people locked in right now from France, Forest Hills, New York, St. Louis, Missouri, Madison, Wisconsin, San Francisco, California, Ashburn, Virginia, Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, and the list goes on and on. United Kingdom, Germany. It is a packed house right here on ATL Web Radio, and right now we have a super hot show that's about to be delivered to you. So, without any further ado, Thomas, man, go ahead and get it started, bro.
Man, thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate you. My Willa, I'm going to call you my Willa. I know everybody calls you, saying DJ CK, but we just talked about this. So, when I call you my Willa, I mean my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody to get hip to the slang because this is what's going on. We some gorillas out here in these streets. We some gorillas in this world. And, we just been doing a lot of monkey business lately. But now it's time to get our silverback fur right. And it's time to go at this finances the way we supposed to, man. So I'm very honored. I'm very humble. Like I said, I'm humble as a rumble in the jungle, man. So I'm ready to get this in and give it everything I got. I'm committed to my listeners, everybody out there. This is for you. I want you to rock this goal with me this year. What we're going to do with this show in the next 90 days, I'm going to let you know we've got a goal already. In the next 90 days, we want you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend that ATL Web Radio is the only place that's giving you the truth on this financial situation called credit. So we want you to build it up to 1,000 subscribers here in the next 90 days. So all of you, my Rillas, my family, that's what Rilla means, is family, brother, and sister. You are now inducted into being a gorilla. So I'm not the only gorilla on the line, and welcome to the jungle. This is our habitat. So let's go.
Amen. Amen, brother. You said a mouthful right there, Marilla, and I appreciate that. I appreciate, just like I say, man, the whole movement that we are bringing forth here, man. I know that when it comes to credit repair, and I know we said that we was going to kind of start this thing off with our own kind of personal stories. I know myself, man, since I was a wee bit, man, I never really paid attention to how important having even decent credit was, and when I got a little older and attempted to, go places like the car lot or to my realtor, it really dawned on me how important it really was. I'm a guy that had, all kind of situations from, just delinquent bills, charge-offs, situations that got started that, were never properly ended. And here I stand before you now, man, as I discussed with you about a few weeks back, man. The only thing good about my credit right now is it's been in the toilet for years. The only good thing thus far is that no one has flushed it thus far. Truly, brother. I mean, straight up and down.
Man.
So, this right here is going to be something, not only for all the listeners and viewers out there across the world, but for myself as well, man. I just, I'm really, like I say, I'm elated to even be able to be this close to the vine that will pour out, so much information when it comes to how to actually get right, man, because I've been left so long, you know what I'm saying? At this point, man, it's like, wow, man. So, again, I know that this is something that you have been involved with for quite a bit of time now, man, as well as it being your actual professional, industry professional when it comes to credit repair and, personal and business. So, this is not just for the people out there, the individuals. This is for people out there that are business owners or prospective business owners, entrepreneurs that are looking for working capital, looking for lines of credit, man. This is that real information, brother. So, I thank you for it, man. And I know you definitely got a story as well. Shout out to London, Kentucky, just tuned in as well. What's
up, the Bluegrass State? What's up?
No doubt. They in the building, man. We got a few. We got Forest Hills, New York, in the building as well, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Let's go ahead and share some light for them, brother.
Well, real quick about myself. I went into the military at the age of 17. So anybody who's been in the military knows that they extend so much credit to you. And when you're young, you don't know what to do with it. So when I was going into the military, I was a military brat, so I've lived all over the world. And when I was going into the military, my mom told me two things. She said, there's two things that you should not do or better not do when you get in there. Number one, don't go in there and get no girl pregnant. I said, all right, I don't want no kids. I'm just 17. The second thing was, don't get married. So I said, all right, not a problem. I can do both of those for you. But the third thing she should have told me, I wish she would have told me, but she didn't, was don't go in there and start racking up bills that you can't pay. Okay. So that was the biggest thing that, affected the next 25 years of my life. So I go into the military and I'm buck private. I'm able to get cars. I got my second, my third, and I want to say my fourth car while I was in the military. I'm talking about repos, buy here, pay here, didn't have credit. Going into electronic places, they extend you credit just because they know you're in the Army. So go in there and get that. My habit is, I got it for free. I ain't put no cash down. I'm from the hood anyway. So the east side of, look, come on. You know where I'm from, Brother Jay. I'm from the east side of Stone Mountain, man. The east side, Zone 6. So, we got something for nothing, and, I just ran with it. So I created all of these bad habits. I created one bad habit after another. My mind state allowed me to continue to keep setting these patterns. And, when I started recognizing what I was doing, I didn't realize that I was messing up all types of things that would hinder my future from being what it possibly could have been. So, fast forward to nowadays, I've missed out on jobs because my credit was piss poor. I've missed out on, different opportunities I could have had to, build my own business by using OPM, which is other people's money. I've missed out on, having a life where you can be responsible with credit cards and use that for travel points and go from this part of the world to that part of the world and build up that type of respect to where they give you money, to where you get cash back options, to where you actually get free travel, to where you get free stay, because once you have credit, it's a totally different world from moving away from cash. So when I realized this, and then, now that I'm a husband, I'm a father, I want to have a home for my kids. And, I'm 44 and I'm like, whoa, I need to get my credit up to a what? And I got what is my credit score? Right. So needless to say, It's going to take some work, but you know what I'm saying? At least now I'm in the know of what I need to be doing because I went and I learned the wrong way to do it. So during that time, I learned the right way to do it. I learned the tips, the tricks. I learned the ins and outs. And now I actually help people restore their credit and get places to where they need to be at. And at the same time, I'm doing for them, I'm doing for myself. And at the same time, I'm not here to teach you guys. I'm learning myself. So we're all doing this journey together, and that's the way that God meant it to be. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just honored to be able to share this information. It's a passion of mine. I love learning about stuff like this because I know that once people come through what we're trying to show them and walk out on the other end, they're going to be much better. They're going to know how to handle their finances better, know how to deal with their money, know how to deal with their credit, know how to respect their name and how important signing on the dotted line is. If they don't already know, they're going to know some other opportunities on how to take that credit and make that money, that other people's money, make more money. And that's where we start talking about business credit and using lines of income from the bank. There's so many things out here that I got to show for y'all, man. So I just hope that y'all are ready to go on this wonderful ride with me and my Willa, and we're going to take you guys somewhere on ATL Web Radio. It's going to be the greatest thing that you can ask for when it comes to this level of information. So I'm just ready, man. Let's go. We're ready to get into it.
Most definitely, most definitely. So I know that we had discussed. I think the very best place to start would actually be to kind of run down to the people what would be like I guess let's say the 5 most important reasons for reestablishing or maintaining or repairing your credit in this day and time, from your perspective, brother.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let's talk about this, man. Now, some call it a home. I call it a habitat. You know, I'm a gorilla, so I'm in the habitat. But the number one thing is buying a house. When it comes to the American dream, let's talk about the American dream. From way back in the day, they've known that to be one key thing: home ownership. The right to be able to practice your religion the way that you desire to, and the right to experience life for you and your family and allow them to live life the way that other people don't get to live in other countries. No disrespect, but at the same time, here in America, home ownership was what is, I'd say, 85% of the American dream. To own property, to own a home. Let's think about it. Everybody that came over here as an immigrant, on a pilgrimage, desired to own a home, to own land. So it's the same situation. Number one, owning a home. Number two, transportation. How do you traverse against this around this world, around this nation? A car. So people have to have good credit to get cars. Number three, now, once again, all this information is online, but at the same time, I'm bringing it to you. Number 3 is starting a business. Now, if that is not another part of the American dream, to not only have home ownership and be your own man or own woman, but to be able to build a legacy, something that your family is going to be able to partake in. Number 3 is starting a business. Number 4, if you're not looking at starting a business, this country was built on, amongst other things, the hard-working backs of people that came from other countries to develop something for themselves and for their family. So let's go with number 4 is getting a job. Something as what we think is as simple as getting a job or as difficult as getting a job is very, very integral that you have good credit. And the fifth thing, which kind of ties it all in, especially if you read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, it deals with interest. And in interest, you're starting to talk about rates. And the rate system for interest can make you pay for something at twice the rate that it's worth, or 3 times, or depending on the level of the rate, where you get a 0% interest rate, you're actually paying nothing but the principal. and the principal means you're paying the direct cost of the value of whatever it is that you're purchasing with credit. So those are the top 5 reasons you need to have credit, and we're about to go into all 5 of those things, Brother Jay. Did you want to add anything on that, my brother?
Well, I did want to say that, it wasn't until about the mid-'90s when I actually was in a situation where I was applying for a job, and I recognized that, it was one of those things. A credit check was actually a part of the application process, and it is only heightened going into the new millennium that employers nowadays utilize your credit rating to really decide if you're a credible person, if you're a reputable person. And I just thought that was so amazing because it wasn't always like that, but it's one of those things that has come into existence over, I say, the last 25 or so years, man, and it's just been really, really, really astonishing because it's like, man, I got to have credit to even be able to go. But see, the whole thing is, a lot of people don't understand is, especially when you're dealing with businesses that deal with high-end merchandise, or even, the field that I was in telecommunications. I did a lot of going in and out of businesses, residential situations. And they really wanted to make sure that, like I said, you were a reputable person, because 9 times out of 10, if the cat not paying his bills, you never know what he might pull. You just really never know. I mean, and we look at things from a different perspective, of course, because we're not, centered in modern day banks and so forth. But it definitely does make a difference, man. Something that I also wanted to kind of throw in there, man, as well, is that I'm a guy that only I only was able to obtain a loan once when it came to a vehicle, and beyond that, man, it was always the buy here, pay here, your job is your credit type situation, because of course, like I said, I never had credit, and I witnessed several instances in which I'd actually got myself into deals in which it appeared that I would be paying a percentage of my interest, a percentage of the principal. And when it came down to it, I was so far in on interest that the principal was so small, if I ever even thought about attempting a buyout, that, it would pretty much, be like, close to when I was walking on a lot to try to get the car from the jump, man. So, you really got to be careful of the contract, man, that people that we get into, man. So, I just wanted to add that real quick. But yeah, I think those, and to this day, I still have never had a home loan. I've never had a mortgage loan. I've always rented when it came to my habitat. So, and that's something else, man. And for that very reason, man, I'm even more intrigued, because again, this is somewhere that I definitely have to make amends when it comes to my life, and I'm sure so many other people out there are in the same boat, man. So,
well, you know what, bro? Let me enlighten a little bit. I'm going to start it off what I'm about to say with the quote that I got yesterday from my mentor. And what he sent me over was a text, and I thought about it. I'm like, wow, how true is this? And it goes with what you said. He said, I would rather look at a person's credit history than their medical history. The credit history explains their medical history. Having a good credit report helps your overall being. Now think about that, right? Just think about that. To know somebody's credit history, you can know why they're stressed. You can know why their living habits. You can know their health, if they're a health risk. You can know a lot of things about a person's credit score. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that and you see how integral, we just think about credit as something financial, as something that's dealing with the finances. Well, what is money? Let's think about what money is. Money is energy, okay? And to be able to harness that energy is the ability to pull more of that energy towards you, okay? So they like to say that time is money. Okay, well, time is a reference. Okay, and money is energy. So time and energy, will equate what? Action. Okay, so when you put that action to your life, you see how poor credit can affect your life. You see how I got to that?
Yeah, no, man. When you first said it, brother, I didn't go too loud with it, but I was like, that's so deep because it's real, man. It's real, my brother. Straight up.
And so with saying that, let's look at the transition, and this is the reason why I make the predictions I make, because they're not so much as a prediction as just an estimate of what's going to be happening, and it's going to change in varying degrees. But the reason why we're going over these 5 is because they're so integral to your future. Okay, so let's look at the transition. In the earlier days, they used to barter. It was all about barter and trade. There was no currency of any sort besides maybe gold or precious metals. Okay, so with that being said, your great-great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, and pretty much the way that we did business over here in Americas, as well as over in Europe and Africa and any other place around, was barter and trade, which means that if I have something, I can bring it to you, and we can work a deal up to where you give me value for what I bring, and when I bring it to you, it's going to allow you to say, well, this is what I'll give you in return. That was barter and trade. Now, that system got removed, and when that system got removed, it still had a little variance to where, you could go to a store and you could say, okay, let me get a bag of feed for the cows, let me get for the chickens, let me get a couple of cans of this, let me get some fruit, let me get some food, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, you walk out the store and you didn't slide 2 bits over to the person. Why? Because your name was your credit, right?
Right.
So after that, let's say in the 50s and 60s, credit was more so extended for business people who were using loans and buying homes. Okay, so that still wasn't the very biggest thing. It wasn't looked at the way it is right now. Fast forward to the 70s and the 80s. You start seeing the credit is being extended to homeowners because home ownership is being pumped as the main thing. Car ownership, you know what I mean? Because now you can go get a car on credit and not have to pay anything down. They started advertising this on all the car shows, on car commercials. Now you fast forward to where we're at right now, and where we're at right now is you can't get a job without credit. You can't get a house without credit. Cellular phone, you can't get utilities, you can't get pretty much anything without some form of credit. You can get the minuscule things. You can go and take some credit and, buy whatever you want. But if you don't have credit, you may still be able to get some of the minor things. But it's getting to the point to where you're not able to get anything. No purchase will be able to be made without some form of credit. Or, like we said the other night, some form of currency, which the new currency or next currency is going to be cryptocurrency or something to the derivative of that. Since that's still in its early stages, they may flip it up at the last minute and bring something different on top of that they can regulate. But right now, where we're at, credit is still the next big currency. It's the digital currency. It's on your card. It's on your plastic. They're removing the checks. Who writes checks anymore? Nobody. Why? Because credit, you got a debit card which prepares you for credit. If you can manage your debit card, you can actually manage your credit. You see what I mean? So, the things that we're moving into are going to be based solely on credit and other derivatives of digital currency. So with that being said, the banks don't have to house, like the brother Jawar said earlier today, it says, the banks don't have to house all the money. So if you make a run on the bank, you're not going to get anything. The banks used to keep gold in there, but they moved all the gold out during the gold standard, when the gold standard was switched up. So these things are happening so that they can push us to a more digital currency, and credit is the in-between transition of that, which may never change, just switch into different forms. So that's why credit is so important. And that's why I feel like what we're talking about right now is educating people on what they need to be doing to get right so they can take their place financially in this world the way that they were supposed to show up a long time ago.
Most definitely, most definitely. I want to, before we go any further, ask you, Brother Thomas, if there is a location online where people can become more familiar with, you know, what you can do to help reestablish their credit, or is there any direct information that we can pass along to them for the people that are seriously intending to begin a process to reverse what's been going on with their credit? How can they actually reach out to you, bro?
Okay, it's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. One of the places you can go to reach me at, and I want to send you here because I want you to, you know, there's a slight little video that goes over the information. And what I do for people is I do free credit consultation. So we can talk about what the problem is, kind of find out what's affecting your credit, and start looking at the different tools that we offer that'll help put you right back into bounce back status to where you can start building your credit back up, as well as using some of the other services to pay down your debt, to protect your name and your information once you have started getting your credit right. Because that's very integral, because one of the fastest growing crimes out there right now is identity theft. So we've partnered up, my company, Financial Education Services, has actually partnered up with LifeLock, which is one of the premier identity theft protection companies. We've also partnered up with Smart Credit, which is one of the premier online credit, what's the best way to say it, places where you can go find out more about your credit and where you're at and how you can change it up. We have credit builder programs. We have excuse me, my mind is escaping me here. We have secured and unsecured cards, so you can start creating new lines of credit. But you can, as far as the information where you can go to get in contact with me at, I would send you to this place. It's www.sesconnect.net/T like the color, II. Okay? I will say that one more time. www.sesconnect.net/T-Brown-II. And from there, you can look at the video that's on my page. It's my landing page. It's not my full website. It's just my landing page. And then you can click the contact button and just go ahead and schedule your free consultation. If nothing else, I'm not asking you to purchase anything, but I am looking to help anybody who requires and wants to help, you know, whether you use my services or not, because the better you get with your credit, the more it will change everything for everyone. Believe it or not, one change affects us all. So if we can help with one person, we're going to help with one person. Maybe it's not about you. Get yourself out of the picture and think about around you. Who else is suffering from the same, you know, situations with credit, and they just need a helping hand and don't know who to talk to? Send them to my page. Or you can call me directly at 678-713-4077. That's my business line. And if you don't get a hold of me right then and there, it's because I'm always working. Just leave me a message, and I promise I'll put it on my fur that I will give you a call back. I put that on my habitat that I will give you a call back, okay? Because I'm about helping and serving. That's my whole total position with everything that I'm doing.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Let me get real quick. That's F as in family?
Yes.
Okay, that's F-E as in Edward, S as in Stanley. Yes. Okay. So for everyone that's listening to us live right now that may be watching us on Facebook, if you aren't watching us live on Facebook, I invite you to go and log in to www.facebook.com/atlwebradio. Once you're there, click on the live video, and you'll actually not only see myself in the setup live, but as well, you'll be able to see the chat room, and there I will have the link to www.fesconnect.net/T Brown as in the color II, as well as the phone number. And it's important to actually make your way over to this Facebook room as well, because closer to the end of this show, we're actually going to offer the opportunity to do a little Q&A. So that is where we would actually receive the questions, and then we would, of course, speak them out to you here live on the air. So definitely go over to www.facebook.com/atlwebradio and pull up the live video in which you can actually drop comments, thoughts, as well as questions as to how you can get linked up with my good brother Thomas, the Credit Gorilla, as well as his website information and phone number. I'll have that stuff pinned in the comments. Brother, man, this is just so much good information, man. And like, truthfully, man, it's a blessing just to even have someone, because normally when you get started talking with a credit specialist, the very first thing they're going to attempt to do is sell you on one of their programs. And don't get me wrong, I know that you have programs in place to help people, and they are by any means not free. But with that being said, a free credit consultation goes a long way, because at least from the consultation, you can have a better idea of how you can begin this metamorphosis to get back into the swing of things when it comes to actually maintaining and actually developing and maintaining what's known as good credit.
Thank you. Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
So.
I mean, I think from my perspective, I want people to partake in this American dream, because the American dream is when you don't take advantage of it, it becomes the American nightmare. And we don't want it to be the American nightmare. We want it to be the American dream, because home ownership is a possibility that we can all face, we can all have. But let's go into this real quick, because when we talk about buying a home, and we're talking about home ownership, and it being one of the biggest parts of the American dream, and for most home ownership is the biggest investment they will ever make in their lives. So, that's something that's very, very important to me, because you've got realtors and people making millions off of homes, but, you've got the average Joe who actually works 8 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, and is with his family on the weekend. I want that brother, that sister to be in their own home so they can enjoy the life of home ownership and not at an exaggerated cost. Because when you're renting a home, you're paying twice the amount that you would pay if you own the home.
Right. You're actually rebuying the house for whoever you're renting it from. I mean, to some extent. Am I correct?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And even if you're doing a rent-to-own program, which is great, you know what I mean? The point is, think of how much you're paying in rent. And think about what a mortgage, let's say you're paying $1,300 on a home, right? And that's what you're paying for rent. But what ends up happening is you decide that you're going to buy that home, so you take out a loan from the bank. The bank gives you a good sweet percentage, and then you put down a nice down payment. And with that, they're able to get that percentage dropped a little bit lower, and maybe a fixed mortgage. So your costs don't vary throughout the years that you have it. So with that being said, your mortgage stays low enough to where you actually are where you were paying $1,300. Now you're just paying $700 and some change, and then you're paying, of course, property tax, which is only paid one time a year. But the point is, you've literally cut by home ownership the cost that you were paying out on a month-to-month basis, right? So you got $600 that's to the good, and you multiply that times 12 months, That's $7,200. You see what I'm saying? So that's 70. Now think about $7,200 over the lifetime loan of a home, which would be normally 30 years. Okay, do the math on that. So think about what you save to where, you know, and plus when you own a home, you're more likely to be stable in your job, in your life. And, you know, once again, providing that you don't, you know, have any upsets in your life and your living status, which, you know, God forbid anything happen, you can count on a pretty stable life for you and your family. And that's why home ownership is even more integral to have. But here's the problem. The problem is the housing industry rebounded after that crash that we had. And the banks are still lending, but they're cautious about their lending. So if you don't have good credit, they're going to jack those rates up on you. And not only will you be paying double, you'll probably be paying double and then some. You see what I mean? So you want to get that good credit down there to where when you go in there with a 720 and a nice down payment, they give you that sweet interest rate. So you can actually have that home for next to nothing, and now you're pocketing all that extra money so you can invest that into some cryptocurrency to protect yourself. Give it to Brother John Juan and my Willa J, you know, so they can help you, increase your portfolio of investments. So that's why buying a home is number one on the top five. Did you want to add to that?
Well, no, brother. I personally think, man, you are smoking right now, man. Keep it going.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about cars. I already told you what my situation is, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had more cars in my life than I've had girlfriends.
Wow.
Ask anybody who knows me; they'll tell you I've had more cars in my life than girlfriends. And I'm gonna tell you, the girlfriends and the cars, the quality was kind of about the same. They were probably low quality on both sides. So I'm just saying, man. My reason for saying that is because I could never get the car that I wanted. Right. I always had to get the car that the dealership said that I qualified for.
Right.
So I would go into one part of the dealership and say, yeah, let's do this. I like this car. Do you work? Yeah, I work. Yeah. You got money? Yeah, I got money. Yeah. But then I turn around and sit down and do the paperwork, and they look at my credit. Whoa. I tell you what, Mr. Brown, let's go ahead and walk you over here, you know what I'm saying, to our used car lot section.
That's right. You slide out the back door with something that you really did not want coming in the door. Man, that is so real. That happens so fast to so many of us, man.
Man, it is the truth. And then guess what? Right? Keep in mind that everything that you get through financing will be attached with some form of interest to it.
Right.
Okay? So even though they would redirect me over to the used car lot section, and my dreams of having a brand new, I remember one time, John, you remember when they had that Stone Mountain Kia on Memorial Drive?
Oh man, I remember? My cousin worked there, man. I remember
right
there beside C&D liquor store, man.
Right. Okay. So you're I'm gonna take you back here. This is when Kia was fresh off the boat. They had a Kia Sportage, one of the original Kia Sportages, and I like Jeeps, but I couldn't afford a Jeep because I was just a teenager, and I wanted a Kia Sportage. So I went over there, I test drove the Kia Sportage, I sat down with them, everything was looking good. Man, they walked me over to the used car section, and I ended up with a Geo Metro. So I say that to say this. I still got hit with the finance charges. It was super high. I still didn't get the car that I wanted. And even though I still got goals with that car, I had to work harder to do it. So good credit, even at that state of my life, would have got me into that Sportage or something better. it would have been that chick magnet that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I could have got through the jungle in stylish form.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
So keeping in mind, buying cars is imperative, because if you can't get a good running quality car, you can't get across town to that good quality job. What's going to be stopping that? Once again, if you got good credit, you can get the good car and a good job. So that's why it's integral to understand buying a car is number 2. All right? I'm going to hop into number 3.
Yes,
and number 3 is because I've always been blessed with the entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm thankful to God for that, because I've always wanted to be my own boss, even though I've always worked for other people. But I've always looked for opportunities to be my own boss, which is why I do credit repair, restoration, finances, and help people out and serve, because that's my calling. So I had this idea called Gorilla to build this business up, and it's an empire that I said I've got to build. And I'm said, you know, God blessed me with the vision, but what he didn't bless me with was the finances. He said, I'm going to leave that part up to you. Your wherewithal is there, so all you have to do is figure out how to get this business going and invest in it. Well, you know, nobody wants to invest in you if you don't have good credit. Bottom line. Nobody's touching you. Other people's money does not exist. Even the dope boys don't want to deal with somebody with bad credit, because if you can't pay the bank, you probably can't pay them. And they don't want something more than a percentage rate, okay? So with that being said, I wanted to start a business. You know, I've had some beautiful business ideas, whether it was my janitorial service, but guess what you need with a janitorial service? You need equipment. You need to get it started with equipment, and you need more than vacuum cleaner and some cleaning materials. You need equipment. You need a van. You need other things to branch up. And yeah, you know, these are one of the things that I want to go to a bank and take a loan out for. Guess what? They looked at me like I was crazy when they saw my credit. Still not recognizing how important this credit thing is, I missed the opportunity to start a business the right way, which was gaining capital, starting a business, testing your market, developing your market, targeting your market, and marketing to your market to let them know about your product and services. Reaping that benefit and growing money trees in my backyard. I missed that opportunity. Why? Because my credit was piss poor. So starting a business, even if you want to develop business credit, like I told you before, Marilla, you know, you have to go ahead and have some type of personal credit in place so you can start developing that, unless you know how. There are back ways, and I'll talk about those when we start talking about business credit. But as far as business credit goes, they're going to 9 times out of 10, if you go the traditional route, want you to present some type of positive credit, okay? So that's number 3. Because if you can be an entrepreneur in America, you will definitely be somebody who can be on top of the world in a short period of time, as long as you've built a better mousetrap, okay, and know how to market it. So let's go to number 4. Number 4, we've already talked about this off and on, but let's go back to it. Getting a job. Getting a job is so integral, because if you don't have that entrepreneurial spirit and you've got to provide for yourself and your family, to where you find out what it is that your purpose on this planet, this beautiful, beautiful jungle of ours, is, then you're going to need a job until you can sustain yourself, till you can, you know, do what you got to do to get to that next level in your life. Well, nowadays, in government, you have to get a credit check. That is part of the background check. Banking, financing, have to get a background check that involves a credit check. Nowadays, the only place you can really go to nowadays is like a fast food place, and I guarantee that in enough time, they're going to be doing credit checks themselves, because they're going to want to either, you know what I'm saying, make sure you can be the main one dealing with the money, or that, you know, you're the one that, you know, they can trust, and your credit is going to speak for you, okay? Right. So getting a job is integral. And I mean, come on, we already know that if you want that money to get that home, to get that car, you either have to start a business or get a job, okay? Either that or you playing with your time and your freedom. And we don't want you to go that route. So once again, this is why we're here to talk about getting your credit straight. The fifth thing is, once again, lower rates. Now, we've talked about how that will affect you with your house. We've talked about how that will affect you with cars. We've talked about how that will affect you with starting a business. Let me tell you something else that'll affect you with. Your utilities. Let me say that again. Your utilities, the percentage rate that you pay on a month-to-month basis is based off of how you come up on your credit.
That's right.
If your credit is bad, they're going to get you at a higher interest rate, and on top of that, they're going to hit you with a deposit. Guaranteed.
Right.
Guaranteed. Right. So now you see why I'm so passionate about this, Marilla, because they have to know that if they can change their credit situation around, get a couple of hundred points bump in their credit, taking it from like a 550 to a 750, you can run things. There's this dude that Ty Lopez is training right now. He's mentoring this young cat. This dude is 20 years old. His name is Steven, and he's got $3.2 million worth of credit available to him. Mm-hmm. Let me say that again. $3.2 million. That's double comma, baby. That's triple comma right there. Okay? 3.2 mil. He's got I want to say like 220 credit cards. 220 credit cards. It's a hobby for him. He does not pay for things. He does not. He says out of those 220 cards, he only has 35 that have an annual fee to it.
Wow.
Some of those cards are used for flying. Some of those cards are used for living, staying in lavish hotels when you're traveling. Some of those will get you whatever type of car that you want to get. I mean, the key is once you get, and he's got a 770 credit score. 770. He doesn't even have an 800.
Wow.
Do you understand what I'm telling these people, man? Oh, yeah. It is so important. It is so. I'm talking about. Let me put it this way. This is how important it is. Your life depends on your credit. And I'll tell you why that is. As simply as I can say it. Your signature is one of the most important things that you can put on anything because it is a direct representation of who you are. You're a natural man. Now keep in mind, there's a straw man, but I'm not going to go into that right now. There's also your natural man, which is who you are, your living, breathing self. And you are able to sign your signature, okay? And when you sign that signature, that means you're attaching your livelihood to that signature. So when you sign that signature on a home, on a car, on a loan, on whatever it is that they're extending you credit for, they're saying that your name is still good enough to get X amount of dollars worth of credit. If you mess that up, your name is doo-doo.
With a capital D.
with a capital D. I'm talking about all caps. D-O-D-O.
Yeah, that's deep, brother. Oh man, you have already let like so many cats out of the bag tonight, man. And this is just the first show, y'all. I want to remind everybody that's tuning into us live. I have a link posted inside of the atlwebradio.com Facebook group, page, and it will be in the group as well a little later on for how to get with this very knowledgeable brother when it comes to repairing credit. This is my brother, Thomas, the Credit Gorilla, right here with you live on this show tonight. We will be back next Monday night, same bat time, same bat channel. We still have just a little bit more to go. I want to let you guys know the website to get it, my brother, here is www.f as in Frank, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, connect, spelled out right, .net/ T Brown II. And that is a landing page where you can actually schedule yourself a free credit consultation with my brother here as well. The phone number to reach him is 678-713-4077. Definitely reach out to this brother. He has years and years and years of understanding from both sides of the spectrum. And I cannot enforce the strength of this conversation too much, man. Credit is a part of, I was just, when you said something about utilities, brother, it hit me again. Damn, I always get the high deposit. They'll tell you when you get started with setting up a utility well, you can actually, sometimes have no deposit all the way up to $300 or maybe even $500 deposit. Even when you're going into an apartment nowadays, it affects that deposit. It affects the deposit on your cell phone if you're utilizing a national contract plan. It's just so many different facets of life that this is important to, and we have a lot of work, a lot of people to reach out and help in this situation. We've been going. I told you how fast an hour goes, bro. We have 51.
You didn't lie.
We have 51 minutes live right now, man. And before we get out of here, we don't have any questions thus far inside of the chat box, but I have 2 questions for you. Actually 3. I think I might, just depend on how deep the answers are to the first 2. We might hold the third one for next week. But my first question to you, brother, is, Old Black's Law. We always, as brothers and sisters, try to come up with a way to remedy things, a way to kind of slide things to the side so that we don't have to attack other scenarios. When I say that to say that, a lot of brothers that I've spoken with over the years have said, oh, man, your credit's bad? Oh, man, that's simple, man. Just go and get yourself a secured credit card from the bank. Give them $300-$500 on it, and every time you go out and buy small things and pay them back immediately. The question is not, does that work? Because I actually found out through a couple of different situations that helps. But what is the percentage of leverage does that do as far as repairing your credit to leveraging the actual bad credit that you've already developed? Let's say, okay, I can't get a real credit card, but my bank has a $200, $300 secured credit card that I can get, that I can actually start, buying things and actually making sure that I have the money to cover those things on that scenario. How good is that toward repairing credit?
Oh man, that's a very, very good question. I love that question right there, man. Let's go into it like this, Marilla. Let's talk about it like this. All right. Picture a bucket, okay? Picture a bucket. And in that bucket, there used to be a cadence we would sing in the Army. It's like, there's a hole in the bottom of the sea. And it got to the point where they were talking about the holes in the bucket. So picture a bucket with holes. And even though water's coming into it, which is your finances, it's going right out of those holes, okay? So, and those holes represent where your credit is weakest, to the point to where there's no credit at all, so you got to hit the hole, all right? So if you were to go ahead and do that, let's say you didn't do anything to your credit. You didn't do anything to start, reversing the process. You just kept bad credit. You could take several pieces of bubble gum and you can plug up each one of those holes with a card. Okay, with a secured Visa. Now, a secured Visa, for those that don't know, is a Visa, or a secured credit card is a card that you pay a deposit on, and that deposit becomes your credit line. Now, with that being said, there are fees attached to that credit line. because you got an annual fee of maybe sometimes $35, $45, $50, whatever it is that they say, and you have to put down X amount of dollars, which can be anywhere from $200 to, $450, depending on what it is. And then when you spend that money back, you're spending it at a percentage, which is, once again, that interest rate, which can be like, let's say, 15, 18, 20%. So they get the money off the interest rate automatically. You get to spend your own money that you already paid to have somebody give back to you so that it can better your name. And they can give you, what they do is when they give you that card, they give you a piece of gum. And they say, all right, chew this gum and plug up your hole. So you start plugging up your holes, but the key is you got to use that opportunity wisely, okay? And when you use it wisely, you can start plugging up those holes and not worry about creating any new holes. But if you don't use it wisely, then you'll blow the opportunity, and that's going to be something that shows up on your credit too. So that's going to be another hole that you put into your bucket.
Wow.
So my reason for using that analogy is because right now, I would advise everybody, if you've got piss poor credit, to go ahead and go to a bank. Or you can contact me. I can hook you up with a secured card with a low percentage rate, and then after that's done, we can transition you into an unsecured card to where you're good to go. And then that'll be your next move into getting into just a straight cash card, which is your typical higher end, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover card, or whatever. Okay. So there's a transition and there's levels to everything. And the levels to it would be secured card first, unsecured card, then regular cash card, and then different levels of, sapphire, platinum, black card, gold card, all this type of stuff. So there's levels of everything, especially credit. And the sooner you recognize the what's the term I'm looking for? The sooner you recognize the levels to it, you can progress faster, close up those holes, and be done with it. The thing is, there's certain things that you want to do, and I'm going to be walking and talking to you about this. So that's something we want to definitely move forward on in the future. In the next couple of shows, we'll be talking about the secured card. We'll be talking about the same topic. So look back for more. I want y'all to come back for more. I'm not going to give you everything right now, but there's tips and tricks to using that to your advantage. So the key thing is they do help, but they can also hurt. And that's what we're going to be talking about, is how they can hurt you. So I'll blow that up into a whole segment for you guys.
Amen. Amen. My brother, I actually got two more questions, but, man, this time is ticking down on us, man. I know we both got responsibilities we got to go handle, man.
Yes, sir.
We've done a 60-minute show for them. And at the end of the day, brother, I told you, it goes by just like that, man. So the platform has been laid from this point forward. Each and every Monday evening, right here at ATL Web Radio, you can start finding out how to not only repair your credit, but how to better protect your credit, and as well get to know my brother Thomas Brown, the Gorilla, a lot better. I'm going to run this website by you one more time. It is www.f as in Frank, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, connect.net/TBrownII. And that is a landing page where you can reach directly out to my brother Thomas, that's here live with me via telephone, and schedule your very own free credit consultation. And he will give you some insight as to how you can begin helping yourself, and even more so how he can help you help yourself get into a better position when it comes to your credit. Also, you can reach out to him, 678-713-4077. Brother Thomas, it has been all the rave, man. It has been my pleasure. I love you, brother, for what you're doing, man. I love exactly where we're going with this, man. And I'm looking forward to all of the bridges that we are going to help to mend for a lot of brothers, sisters, and everyone else out there that may have themselves some type of financial despair in this time, in this new millennium age, man, where it is so very important to maintain. Brother, do you have any final words before we get ready to cut on out of here?
Man, never forget the goal that we're on right now. I've got the first goal I put out there. I'm going to go ahead and say that again. Everybody that's on the line, everybody that's listening, everybody within earshot, within the next 90 days, we want to grow our subscribers to this show, to the site as a whole, to the station as a whole. But what we want to do, we want to start showing that we can create a track record to where we can go and start getting advertising, so we can start building this show, not only the show, but building up this station the way that it's been meant to be built up, and start generating some revenue so we can keep more good shows like this coming to you guys. So to start that process, I don't care if we got just 20, 25 people on the line, tell a friend to listen next weekend, tap 5 people on the shoulder that you may know that may have bad credit, and let them know this is a show they need to be listening to. The Credit Gorilla on ATL Web Radio. We need 1,000 subscribers in 90 days, and I'm counting on all my gorillas, all my credit gorillas out there to make it happen. I'm counting on you guys. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thomas, once again, man, brother, it's been my pleasure. We're going to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to drop a little record here that goes really good with the topic. It's by my homie Chubb Raps, and it's called Bout My Paper. You heard it here first on atlwebradio.com. Tune in or be tuned down.
Yeah. For a second, forgot who I was. And I had to talk with myself. I said, yeah, I'm about my paper, about my cheese. Grind like a grader when it comes to getting green. Making more money than you suckers ever seen. Talking about you crabs that be holding on a team. But I hate you flaws and I hate you snakes. Talking about you always on a paper chase. When you're barely even trying to keep up with the pace. And be the main one trying to eat up at the plate. Before I get on your grind and get on your hustle. Playing with these bras ain't hipping your muscle. Pay attention to the game cause they try to cut you. Way like you ain't then try to flush you. But you a full house and I ain't talking about a place. Talking about a team where everybody's straight. They got their own craft and they know how to bake. And know what time it is when they see the game face. Cause I'm about my paper. My paper. Since you already know cause I'm about my paper. My paper. So you know what it is. I'm about my paper. My paper. Since you already know cause I'm about my paper. My paper. My paper. So you know what it is. I'm about my paper. My paper. Since you already know cause I'm about my paper. My paper. So you know what it is. I'm about my paper. My paper. Since you already know cause I'm about my paper. My paper. So you know what it is. Some people think that I'm living a dream when I was just low-key rebuilding my team. Trying to maneuver these devilish fiends, but somehow I made it and it look clean. And what it mean is cause of the struggle. I brought the real, that's after the tussle. Now you look sour, a wall-headed knuckle. While playing catch-up and can't cut the mustard. Now we just suck on my... I'm ready, you done right the hand, and look where you're headed. The dummy to crash, that's full of unleaded. You moving fast, must say take the pressure. See, I was built different, that's why it's a blessing. Ran into problems and walked out with lessons. You know potential and started high stepping. Now watch me crush on without even flexing. So my paper, my paper, yeah. So you already know, cause I'm about my paper, my paper, my paper. So you know what it is, I'm about my paper, my paper. I said you already know, cause I'm about my paper, my paper, my paper. So you know what it is, I'm about my paper, my paper. Said you already know, cause I'm about my paper, my paper, my paper. So you know what it is, I'm about my paper, my paper, my paper. Said you already know, cause I'm about my paper, my